Hello everyone, in this video we want to share with you 10 powerful tips on how to deal with upheaval so your upheaval can be as easy and gentle as possible. My name is Denis.
And I'm Nicole.
And before we get right into tip number 1, we just want to get quickly clear on what exactly upheaval is. So upheaval is after you hear something, when you are releasing everything that is no longer in alignment with that new healing and the new choices you've made. So in a way you can see upheaval as a spiritual detox. So tip number 1 for how to deal with upheaval effectively would be...
Feel your feelings.
Exactly. This is very important for upheaval because you release the upheaval by feeling through it. So if you don't feel your feelings, you're going to get stuck in the upheaval, which feels very uncomfortable. So very, very important, allow yourself to feel everything that is there and everything that is coming up so that it can go. Tip number 2.
Take time for yourself.
What does that mean?
Take time for yourself is allow yourself to rest, allow yourself to sleep, and also to fill yourself up. It's safe to give yourself time and to nurture yourself and be compassionate while you are moving through all of this ugly stuff and uncomfortable feelings.
Yes, very nice. One very helpful way to deal with your upheaval and upheave easily is listening to Jeff Shaleia's Twin Flame Meditation CD, which you can find at twinflamesuniverse.com. That's always very, very helpful to be able to move through the upheaval. Tip number 3 is don't hold on to it. I've quickly mentioned this with tip number 1, but when you're in upheaval, it's very important, no matter what you're feeling, to really allow yourself to feel through it and let it pass. If you're holding on to it, you're going to sit in it and it can't actually move through you and move out of you.
Tip number 4, reaffirm your new choices.
So if, for example, you've healed, let's say self-acceptance, you've made new choices around, okay, I choose to accept myself, and you've healed any part in yourself where you weren't accepting yourself, you're going to upheave any kind of feeling of where you're not self-accepting yourself. Maybe it's self-hatred, maybe it's not liking yourself, maybe it's self-judgment, could be really anything. But what's really important when you're upheaving, what really helps you to upheave quickly and easily, is to reaffirm the new choices that you've made while healing. So in this case, it would be reaffirming the choice of, I choose to accept myself. And just feel into just that choice, stay grounded in your heart, in that new choice that you've made, and everything else that passes, just allow it to go.
So tip number 5 is set boundaries with old patterns.
So staying with this example from tip 4, in this case that would mean that if you feel self-acceptance and the old pattern was not accepting yourself, when that old pattern tries to drag you back into that energy of not accepting yourself, you put up a boundary there and you say, I don't choose to go back there, I choose to accept myself, and I choose to put up a boundary to any old energy, any old pattern that tries to drag me back into the old energy. You wanna?
Just go ahead.
Tip number 6, don't focus on the upheaval too much. How do you do that?
Well, don't sit in the upheaval, just allow it to pass and relax into feeling your feelings. It's safe to feel this so that it can leave your consciousness.
Exactly. And if you catch yourself like being too, like sitting too much in the upheaval itself, and the upheaval kind of becoming your entire world, and you being like, oh my God, this is so intense, take a step back and become like more of an observer of the upheaval, and that way you can kind of you can let it come through and release way easier because you're not so focused on it. Go ahead.
So we are going to tip number 7, trust that it will pass easily by itself.
This is very important with upheaval. When you trust that it will pass by itself, you're not going to get into any place where you try to control it, where you start overthinking about it, where you start worrying and freaking out because you're feeling all of these feelings. You can actually stay in a place of trust and just allow the upheaval to happen.
And tip number 8 is you don't need to do anything about it.
So yeah, when you're upheaving, you've already done the healing work. The upheaval is just a detox that happens after you've done the healing work. So you don't need to do anything about it anymore. You've already done the work. You just need to basically let it happen by itself, let the process unfold. And yeah, don't start trying to heal it or trying to do something about it, because that's actually going to stop the flow of upheaval.
And that's why tip number 9 is very important: surrender.
Just surrender to the upheaval, surrender to what is coming up, surrender to letting it be a process. Yeah, that's really about it.
That's about it, yeah. And yeah, tip number 10 is focus on what's coming back to you.
So I want to go back to the example we used for tip number 4 and 5, which was all about releasing, not accepting yourself, and like the new choice being I choose to accept myself. In this case, that would mean that you are releasing, you are upheaving, not accepting yourself, and what is coming back to you is self-acceptance. And that's where you should put your focus on. If you put your focus on the self-acceptance, the self-love that is coming in, you're going to have a way easier time upheaving all the yuck that doesn't feel good around any feelings of not accepting yourself or whatever you're releasing. Yes. So these were our 10 tips on how to deal with upheaval effectively. For further resources on how you can heal twin flame separation and all the resources that support you on your twin flame journey, please go to twinflamesuniverse.com. On twinflamesuniverse.com, in the blog section, we also have an article about upheaval. It's called the Upheaval Support Kit. So for further information, tips on how to deal with upheaval, go and visit that blog article. If you've liked this video, please like and subscribe the channel, and we will see you in our next video.